Good morning everyone. Can I ask you please in your jotter to put today's date, which is the 18th of May 2020, and it's quite a long heading, speed, distance and time with half and quarter hours. Okay, so we've been looking at speed, distance, time recently, but you may have noticed that everything we've been doing with speed, distance and time has always been with full hours. It's always been with 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours. But in reality, journeys don't take that long. Okay, sometimes a journey might take half an hour, it might take 15 minutes, it might take 45 minutes. So we need to have a way to make sure that we can use the strategies that we learned last week and make sure that they're consistent with the strategies that we're going to learn today and make sure everything blends together quite nicely. What we're going to essentially do is see if when we're dealt with minutes, we need to be able to write that in terms of hours. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to do this as well. I'm going to ask you to draw a circle. Okay, and I've said before, the best way to draw a circle is just to draw a circle without thinking. I've got this fancy tech, so I want you to imagine this as a clock face. Okay, in a clock face, I'll just put a few wee dividing lines. So that would be 12 o'clock, that would be 3 o'clock, that would be 6 o'clock, and that would be 9 o'clock, and then back to 12 o'clock. One mistake that happens is, let's imagine if we were to write, and I'm going to ask you to write this down, I'm going to ask you to write down 30 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes. The mistake that people write, and please do not write this down, do not write this down, people say that 30 minutes is 0.3 hours. This is wrong. This is wrong because in an hour there's not 100 minutes. If there was 100 minutes it would be 0.3, but there's 60 minutes. Okay, so 30 minutes is not 0.3 hours. Another way you would probably think about 30 minutes is half an hour. And if I were to just shade this in, so 30 minutes would, like say for example, if I were to go from noon, 30 minutes would be from here to here. And hopefully you can see that that is half of the whole. Okay, so 30 minutes we would write as 0.5 hours. 30 minutes is 0.5 hours. If we're to do something similar for 15 minutes, I just want to undo that last step there. Okay, let's imagine we wanted to do 15 minutes, and I'm just going to write this above 30 minutes. The mistake that people write is they say that it's 0.15. That is incorrect. It's not 0.15 hours because there's not 100 hours in a minute. 15 minutes, if I were to shade it in, would look something like this. Hopefully you can see that that is a quarter. Oh, it's not very good on this diagram here. Okay, so that would be a quarter of an hour. What is a quarter as a decimal? Hopefully you should be able to identify. It is 0.25 hours. Okay, because that's 1/4 of an hour. A quarter of a whole hour. Let's do a wee bit more rubbing out. And hopefully you'll be able to see where I'm going to be going with my next example. 45 minutes. If we were to shade this in, it would go round to here roughly, and we'll shady. Okay, so 45 minutes would be 1/4, 2/4. So 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour. So if we said I'll see you in 3/4 of an hour, we mean 45 minutes. So 45 minutes is 3/4. 3/4 is the same as 0.75 hours. Okay, can I ask you please see this bit here? I'm going to circle it. Can you please make sure you've got this bit circled or bubbled or highlighted or something just to highlight it as important? Okay. I just want to take one more wee note, and then we've got 3 examples to have a look at. See if we wanted to do, well, I'm in green so I'm just going to keep going. See if we wanted to write, for example, 3 hours and 15 minutes in this form up here. We'll see if we think about what that actually is. 3 hours and 15 minutes. That means I've got 3 holes. Okay, so I've got one. Oops, I'll try and redo that again. There we go. We've got 1, 2, 3 holes and 15 minutes. So if I've got 3 whole hours, that's 1, 2, 3 and 15 minutes. So 3 hours and 15 minutes. As a decimal, we would write that. Well, how would we write that? So that would be 3.25 hours. 3.25 hours. Because we've got 3 whole hours and then 0.25 of the last hour. Okay, so today we are going to be working with minutes in terms of quarter hours, half hours, or 3/4 of an hour. Okay, we've got 3 examples to have a work through. We'll work through them quite quickly. Okay, example 1. Can I ask you, if you need to, pause the video and can you copy this down? Okay, a car travelled 20 kilometres in 30 minutes. Calculate its average speed. Okay, so this is a speed, distance, time question. So we set out our work and we'll go for D equals S equals T equals. The distance was 20 kilometres. We want to work out the speed, and the time is 30 minutes. But see, for speed, distance and time, we never want to have minutes. We want to write this in terms of hours. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 30 minutes as 0.5 hours. 0.5 hours. Okay, because it's half an hour. So we're now going to draw our speed, distance, time triangle. We remember that by where the Prime Minister lives. The Prime Minister lives in Downing Street. We want to work out the speed. Okay, so we'll score that out. So speed equals, and we can see that D and T are on different levels. We're going to do distance divided by time. I'm going to struggle for space a little bit here, so I'm going to need to work across a little bit. So we're going to do 20 divided by 0.5. Okay, so we think about that. You're allowed a calculator here. So that's how many halves are in 20. There's 2 halves in 1, so that means there's going to be 40 halves in 20. So the speed is 40, and then having a look here, it's going to be kilometres per hour. Okay, so 40 kilometres per hour. Okay, that's example 1. Example 2. Please copy this down. If you need to pause, do so now. A train ride lasted 2 hours and 15 minutes. It travelled 40 miles per hour. How far did it travel? Okay, so how far? This is a distance question. We'll set out our working as normal. D equals S equals T equals. We want to work out the distance. The speed is 40 miles per hour. The time is 2 hours and 15 minutes. So this 2 hours means we've got 2 whole hours, and if we remember, if we go up to the top, 15 minutes is 0.25. So over here it's going to be 2.25 hours. Okay, 2 coming from the 2 whole hours, and then the 15 minutes we've written as 0.25. Okay, so we'll set our working. Downing Street. We want to work out the distance. We can see that speed and time are on the same level, so we're going to multiply them. So we're going to do 40 multiplied by 2.25. So the distance travelled would be, what's that going to be, 80 plus 10, which is 90. And it's miles per hour, so it's going to be 90 miles. Okay, 90 miles. Last question, guys, last question. Sorry for all this copying down here. Number 3. Pause the video and copy this down if you need to. A 75-mile bike ride was completed with an average speed of 30 miles per hour. How long did the journey take? So once again, D equals S equals T equals. The distance is a 75-mile bike ride, so it's 75 miles. The speed is 30 miles per hour. We want to work out the time. Okay, because although we could say how long could be a distance, but in this sense, how long did the journey take? Okay, so that would be a time. Okay, so we'll go for down street. This time working out time. So time equals, we can see that distance and speed are on different levels, so we're going to divide them. Time equals distance divided by speed. So we're going to do 75 divided by 30. So the time is going to be, do that in a calculator, that's going to be 2.5 hours. Okay, you could leave it like that, or we could notice that 0.5 hours is 30 minutes, so that would be 2 hours and 30 minutes. It wouldn't be 2 hours 50 minutes, because remember, 0.5 of an hour is half an hour being 30 minutes. Okay, so today we're going to be working with quarter hours, half hours and 3/4 of an hour, and having to work through some calculation with speed, distance and time. If you need any support at all, please do get in touch. I'll be happy to help. If anything needs clarified a wee bit further, just let me know. Okay guys, take care.